Okay, so imagine this for a moment. The world doesn't end with a single explosion. Sometimes it fades, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly, until it's already too late. Throughout history, there have been moments where humanity came dangerously close to collapse. Not always from war, not always from something we could fight, but from forces we didn't understand. Today, we're going to look at 10 of those moments, not myths, not exaggerations, real events where everything almost fell apart. Number 10. When the air itself became deadly. In August 1986, a quiet lake in Cameroon became the center of one of the strangest disasters ever recorded. There was no explosion, no earthquake, no visible warning. And yet, in the middle of the night, people simply stopped waking up. Lake Nyos sat inside a volcanic crater. Deep beneath its surface, carbon dioxide had been building for years, trapped under pressure like a sealed bottle. At some point, that pressure released. A massive cloud of invisible gas erupted from the lake and spilled over the surrounding land. It moved silently, downhill, like an invisible flood. Because carbon dioxide is heavier than air, it pushed oxygen out of the way. Entire villages inhaled air that could no longer sustain life. Within minutes, over 1,700 people were gone. No fire, no sound, no struggle, just silence. It revealed something deeply unsettling. Not all threats arrive with violence. Some arrive without being seen at all. Number 9. The year the sky turned dark in the year 536 AD, something changed across the entire planet. The sky dimmed. Chroniclers described a sun that shone without brightness, as if seen through smoke. Shadows faded. Daylight felt weak and cold. This wasn't local, it was global. From Europe to Asia, records describe the same phenomenon: crop failures, falling temperatures, strange weather patterns. Modern science points to massive volcanic eruptions that injected ash and sulfur into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight. A volcanic winter. Temperatures dropped, harvests failed, societies weakened, and just a few years later, the plague of Justinian struck populations already on the edge. It wasn't one disaster, it was a chain reaction, and it showed how fragile stability really is. Number 8. The drought that ended cities. Not all collapses are sudden. Some take decades. Around the 9th century, the Maya civilization, one of the most advanced societies of its time, began to decline. No invasion, no single catastrophe, just less rain, year after year. Maya cities depended on seasonal rainfall. When it began to fail, the balance between population and resources broke down. Harvests shrank, conflict increased, trust in leadership eroded. Cities that had stood for centuries were slowly abandoned, not destroyed, left behind. The danger wasn't violence, it was the quiet disappearance of the conditions that made life possible. Number 7. The collapse nobody understood. Around 1200 BC, entire civilizations across the Mediterranean began collapsing. The Hittite Empire, Mycenaean Greece, major trade networks, all gone within a few generations. There was no single cause. Instead, everything started failing at once. Climate shifts, earthquakes, food shortages, migration, war. These societies were deeply interconnected, and that was their strength until it became their weakness. When one part failed, everything else followed. What makes this event so unsettling is this: the people living through it didn't see the collapse of a system. They saw local problems until suddenly there was no system left. Number 6. When the plague kept coming back. In medieval Europe, survival didn't mean the danger was over. Because the plague didn't just arrive once, it came back, again, and again. Each wave hitting populations already weakened by famine, war, and economic strain. Entire families disappeared in days. Cities never fully recovered before the next outbreak arrived. Fear spread faster than understanding. Some turned to religion, others turned against each other. But something unexpected happened. Society began to change. Labor became more valuable. Feudal systems weakened. Early public health measures emerged. Humanity didn't just survive the plague, it adapted to it. Number 5. The summer that never came. In 1816, something felt wrong. Snow fell in June. Crops failed across continents. Temperatures dropped worldwide. It became known as the year without a summer. The cause? The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815, the most powerful in recorded history. Ash and gases filled the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and cooling the planet. Harvests collapsed. Food shortages spread. Entire populations were pushed toward famine. People didn't understand what was happening, but they felt it. And in that uncertainty, something else emerged. Stories, ideas, fear. It was during this time that Mary Shelley began imagining Frankenstein. Even in crisis, humanity creates. Number 4. The explosion the world heard. In 1883, a volcanic island between Java and Sumatra exploded. Krakatoa. The sound was heard nearly 5,000 kilometers away, the loudest sound in recorded history. The eruption triggered massive tsunamis, destroying entire coastal regions. But its real impact went beyond that. Ash spread across the globe, cooling temperatures and painting the sky in deep reds and oranges. For months, sunsets looked unreal. People across the world witnessed it, without knowing why. It was one of the first global events humanity experienced together, a reminder that even distant forces can reshape the entire planet. Number 3. The storm that broke a nation. In 1703, a storm hit England with a force no one had ever recorded before. There were no forecasts, no warnings. People went to sleep and woke up inside a catastrophe. Winds tore roofs from homes. Church towers collapsed. Entire forests were flattened. Ships in the English Channel were destroyed overnight. More than 1,000 sailors died in a single night. But beyond the destruction, something changed. For the first time, people began to seriously study weather, not as superstition, but as science. Disaster forced understanding. Number 2. The storm from the sun. In 1859, the sky lit up. Auroras appeared across the world, even near the equator. But this wasn't just a light show, it was a solar storm, the most powerful ever recorded. Telegraph systems failed, sparks flew from wires, messages transmitted without power. At the time, technology was limited, so humanity survived. But today, a storm of that magnitude could shut down satellites, power grids, navigation systems, everything modern life depends on. It was a warning, written in light. Number 1. When humanity almost disappeared. Around 74,000 years ago, a massive eruption changed everything. Lake Toba, one of the largest volcanic events in the last 2 million years. Ash filled the atmosphere, temperatures dropped, ecosystems collapsed, and early humans nearly disappeared. Genetic evidence suggests that at one point, there may have been only a few thousand humans left alive. That's it. From that small group came everyone. You, me, all of us. Humanity didn't survive because it was powerful. It survived because it adapted, moved, changed, endured, and here you are, living proof that they made it. And remember, the universe doesn't reveal its secrets to those who rush. It reveals them to those who know how to look. Subscribe and keep listening to the silence.